Marvel person myself, but there's nothing wrong with the Flash.
You're fine with a fast superhero?
Sure.
That's a good power to have?
It's not bad.
Okay.
Sometimes there's a lot to be said for simplicity.
Spell Pierce going to take care of Alexander's Ponder as round number 7 underway. I'd like to get your opinion on random stuff, because I never know when you're going to feel really opinionated on something.
Sure.
I found out the hard way a couple weeks ago. Some people really not a big fan of the Batman versus Superman movie. Can't really understand how Superman would ever lose.
I have not watched the Batman versus Superman movie, nor did I know that was a thing.
Well, it's not out yet.
Okay.
It's coming out soon.
Then why are we even talking about who won?
The thought of Batman versus Superman does make a lot of sense to people.
Yeah, there's a lot of Batman fans out there that are like, oh, give it enough time, he'll figure out anything. But that's stupid because Superman can just blow up the planet or whatever. He's super-powered alien. I don't even know how this is close.
See, I figured that would be your thought.
But DC people who are into Batman are very into the idea that Batman just cannot lose given enough time.
You know what the trick is? Don't give him enough time.
Yeah.
That's his weakness. Tom going to get to work here with the Sylvan Library.
I imagine he's also susceptible to, like being disintegrated or whatever because he's a human being. Don't know that well, but be weird if that wasn't the case.
We'll have to check the books. Tom took them all. He fell down to 11 to do so. And in this matchup, when you're playing against a blue deck, I don't know if Tom knows exactly what he's up against right now, but you can feel free to get a little aggressive with Sylvan Library.
Yeah, there's no real risk of him getting burned out or attacked out of nowhere. And I like Tom here spending his mana in early turns, just setting up the right hand, leaving Hamilton unable to interact with the board because there's no board to interact with. And then eventually Ross can flood the board with some stuff, have some tricks available to fight back against Hamilton's removal and counterspells.
Tom got to figure out how he wants to resolve this brainstorm. A lot of options here for the boss. But he's happy to put those 2 cards back. Brainstorm done resolving. He hasn't played a land just yet. He'll sacrifice the Misty Rainforest. So fall a little bit lower. Get a tropical out of his deck. 3 tropicals on the battlefield at this point. We'll see if he's finally got an infect creature to play. It's a slow setup here for Ross.
Well, you can see he has a lot of protection set up, and he does have a Glistener Elf here. With Vines of Aspwood, Daze. A lot of ability to fight.
He'll go with Ponder, however. Piracy Charm, Windswept Teeth, Berserk. He'll leave him on top. Going to take the Berserk, perhaps setting up for a kill next turn. There's Glistener Elf. Use all of his mana, pass the turn back over to Hamilton. Hamilton's going to sacrifice Scalding Tarn on the end step. We'll see what land he wants to search up.
Now, Tom did shuffle away a copy of Inkbond Nexus, so he has to be fairly confident that this Glistener Elf is going to survive.
There's a Plateau. Mountain the draw here for Hamilton. Perhaps it's Council's Judgment. It is.
This is the type of battle Ross's deck is really well set up to fight.
There's a Daze. Could be go time now.
Oh. Tom didn't even bother to resolve Sylvan Library, so I imagine he's got the kill.
I would think I'm dead, yeah. If you're not even going to take the moment to resolve that, now here's Berserk. Yep, that's it. That'll do it. Tom Ross going to win game number 1 here over Alexander Hamilton. In fact, very quickly up a game here over Jeskai Stoneblade, as now we turn our attention to the sideboards here for both player. We'll get an idea exactly what they're working with. We'll start with Alexander Hamilton. He's got a Sword of Feast and Famine, a Relic of Progenitus, a Rest in Peace, a Meddling Mage, a Wear Tear, and his Staticaster, a Sulfur Elemental, a Blue Elemental Blast, a Flusterstorm, and then some 2-0s here in Blood Moon, Red Elemental Blast, and Containment Priest.
The blasts are okay in this matchup. They're an answer to Blight Agent and some of the cantrips. They're not great, but they're likely to come in. I think the one Flusterstorm is well suited for the kind of battles over, cheap counter spells, cheap pump spells, and the copy of Wear Tear and Is It Staticaster, nice answer to Inkbond Nexus and some other one-touch threats.
Other side of things here for the boss.
A Caracas, a Flusterstorm, a Hydroblast, a Necropede, a Force of Will, a Viridian Corruptor, a Surgical Extraction, 2 copies of Submerge, a Nature's Claim, a Crozan Grip, a Crop Rotation, Bajuka Bog, Wasteland, Spellskite. You may see the Flusterstorm come in here along with the Force of Will, and I think the anti-artifact measures in Crozan Grip and Nature's Claim very likely to come in.
Well, there are the options there for both players. So game number 2 will be underway in just a moment. Alexander Hamilton with his Jeskai Stoneblade deck will be on the play. In the meantime, we're talking Fall Creature Collection. That means we're talking playmats, sleeves, and player bundles of some of your favorite game night creatures.
Yeah, you see the Fall Collection here, the Hippo, the Otter, the Reindeer, and Penguillian Click available on playmat, sleeves, and player bundles over at StarCityGames.com/creature collection or at the dealer booth at any of our opens or Grand Prix that we're at.
You're 2 for 2 on Penguillian Click here. I'm impressed.
And you're 0 for 1.
What? I got it right.
Yeah, you kind of...
Penguillian Click?
There you go.
Really? You kidding me?
The first time around, there was a little bit of a mashing of syllables together. It wasn't a fluid delivery.
I have no idea what you're talking about. It was as fluid as can be. Penguillian Click. Boom.
Yeah.
Be here all weekend. Tom Ross, another great start for him on the Open Series. Surprising that he only does have 6 Open Series top 8s with only 1 victory, but the 3 Invitational top 8s with 2 wins back-to-back last year, Season 2 and Season 3. Very, very impressive. He's got that Pro Tour top 8 and 4 Grand Prix top 8s and a 5-time Louisiana state champion. I think the only person who's got more state championships than him is Mr. P, Adam Prozac.
This would be Ohio or Arizona?
A mix?
Okay.
Maybe?
I don't think it counts then. I think you got to be one state.
You think so?
I don't know. It's, I just don't think it's fair to the most state championship for someone to be winning from multiple states.
I do know that Adam did most of his damage in Arizona. That much I'm sure of. I'm not sure if he's got an Ohio State title. And for some reason, I think he's got a state title in somewhere that's not Arizona. But I can't confirm that. I'm like pretty sure. But I'm almost positive Adam, Adam definitely has 4 state titles in Arizona. The question is, does he have 5 or more? That I'm not sure of. Being a multi-time state champion is pretty sweet, though.
It is.
So, I have a state championship from Indiana and Washington. Am I not a 2-time state champion then? Or?
You are. I just, I enjoy the purity of the person with the most state championships only pulling from one state.
But sometimes you move.
Sure.
Sometimes you just want to go to another place, man. I don't tell you. Uh-oh, someone's questioning the Penguillian Click here.
What about it?
Why does only one of the penguins on the mat have a black beak? The 2 on the left are yellow. We didn't design it. I don't know.
It's a stupid question. I'm not answering that.
We're underway in game 2. Scalding Tarn is where Hamilton's going to start. Here's a Scalding Tarn. Here's a Tropical Island into a Glistener Elf. Force of Will removing True Name Nemesis. Sorry, Squirrel 3D. Patrick didn't like your question. Flooded Strand. We're heading back Ross's way.
Why would you think I would have that answer?
Because you're a font of knowledge. You just know things that people don't expect you to know. This is what happens when you show off your knowledge. People expect you to know everything.
I object to the characterization that I'm showing off my knowledge. I'm asked questions and I answer them. And I don't have the answer to that one. And it's a stupid question.
It's okay. It's okay. We're going to make it through the day.
We're going to be fine. I'm fine right now.
You get a little heated up.
I'm calm.
Here's a Misty Rainforest from Tom. Another tropical island.
I would suggest one of 2 things. One, go to the artwork for Vendilion Click and see if there's a parallel somehow. There could be some color thing going on in that artwork that we're trying to draw from.
Okay.
Second would be contact the person who actually created it.
That one's smart. I like that one. Source of Plowshare, Supreme Verdicts, an F-Caster Mage, and an Island. Those are the cards that Alexander Hamilton is working with. Not a particularly fast hand.
No. And again, Tom kind of going through some early turns of setting up in an effort to dead Hamilton's mana and then overwhelming him over 2 turns.
Brainstorm will draw Umezawa's Jite, a Red Elemental Blast, and a Counterspell. So the hand is loaded up here for Hamilton. He's just actually got to turn these cards into doing stuff, actually. Getting them on the board, casting them, all that good stuff.
Yep, same thing happened with Ross last turn. Hand was not great, and Brainstorm cleaned it all up and then some.
Shocking. Glistener Elf, yeah. See if this resolves. Hamilton's going to sacrifice Scalding Tarn in response, so maybe we'll have a little bit of a fight over the 1/1 Infector. Another fetch there. Get the non-basics out of the deck. Now here's Counterspell. I love that Counterspell is playable. Here's a Sylvan Library. Maybe that was the real spell.
Yeah,
Tom wanted to
and
resolve.
with Hamilton sitting on a hand with a lot of removal spells that Ross knows about, makes a lot of sense to just build up a grip of cards and, again, try to go for everything in one big flurry.
Sylvan Library is going to show you a Blighted Agent. I believe a Spellskite as well. Some interesting stuff going on here. I don't see Spellskite much.
One in the sideboard. And I'm sure Ross is just happy to have it absorb some removal spells. Possible Hamilton's deck has Lightning Bolt in it. And we know how good Spellskite is against Lightning Bolt.
Tom going to pay 8 life, draw all the cards in Sylvan Library. He's already down to 11. We saw that work last game.
Seen a lot of Sylvan Library on camera so far.
You felt it was going to be pretty well positioned coming in.
At least be better.
It's not a card you can play, 3-4 copies of, but the first one is very, very good. Wasteland going to take care of the Tundra.
Great sequencing here from Tom. Just trying to set it up so the Swords of Plowshares isn't an answer.
Hamilton will draw. Force of Will. Oh, here's a Snapcaster Mage.
Now instead of Snapcasting back removal, Hamilton has to Snapcaster back a cantrip to find white mana.
Going to cast Brainstorm. See if this resolves. Tom does have a copy of Flusterstorm in hand. He's going to sacrifice Verdant Catacombs, so we might see him get a Tropical Island and counter this. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. So there's Flusterstorm. That'll take care of the Brainstorm. And now we head back Ross's way. He's going to quickly untap, take a look at a couple of cards here with Sylvan Library. A Pendlehaven, Inkmoth Nexus, and a Verdant Catacombs are the top 3 cards that the boss is looking at. There's a Blighted Agent.
The setup looks pretty good to me. I mean, he's keeping Hamilton in a spot where even if he draws white mana this turn, he has to work his way through a Spellskite, somehow prevent a flurry of pump spells from killing him.
Hamilton going to sacrifice Arid Mesa.
Ross set up this board state over the course of several turns.
Basic Plains has arrived. Well, what's next here? Snapcaster,
That's an ambitious attack.
yeah, I'm just going to stay home.
I appreciate it, but I think Tom's probably going to block pretty quickly with Spellskite.
Pendlehaven, a couple fetch lands.
Such a good setup here for Ross, too, because, if you're trying to win with one removal spell, that's very challenging to do in the face of the Spellskite. If you're trying to play towards Supreme Verdict, well, then there's a Nexus left over on the table, and Tom is likely to kill you with the follow-ups after you tap out for Supreme Verdict. Or he's just got Vines Invigorate Berserk.
Yeah,
so
he just has it all.
if he wants to push on him, he can.
Yep. Tom's been known to push. Yeah, he's been known to push. Here's Invigorate. The one thing he's always had a really good sense of is when to move in. Invigorate resolves. There's Berserk. Force of Will, moving Supreme Verdict. And Tom knows the last card is Swords, too, so he can just cast Vines now. And this will be for a total of 9 Infect. And with a Blighted Agent and Inkmoth Nexus in play, it's almost impossible for Hamilton to get out of this situation.
Yep. I wonder if Ross was supposed to open up by just using the Pendlehaven,
Potentially.
but he's got this pretty well secured.
Another source of plowshares to draw. That's not going to help in this situation. Hamilton with only 1 white mana, and Ross going to be coming across with a couple of different threats. So use Sylvan Library, take a look at 3 fetch lands there. Those aren't going to be too helpful. But he doesn't really need much else at this point. He's going to fire up that Inkmoth Nexus, come across here with the 2 Infectors. Source of Plowshares is going to go after Blighted Agent. I think we'll see Spellskite and make a move here. I'm trying to think of if there was even a card that exists that could be a blowout here. Yeah, the other card, Source of Plowshares, and that's going to do it. Tom Ross going to win this match here over Alexander Hamilton. 2-0. Infect will take care of Jeskai Stoneblade. And for the boss, he moves on to 6-1. He's locked up at least day number 2, but looking for more than that.